Hey, everybody, we broke into the Metro Court pool again. They are just not reinforcing this lock in any way, shape, or form. All we
I
have to
thought
do every week is to show up with bolt cutters. Just,
I really wanted to find Jason putting his feet in the pool again, but that didn't happen.
no, I don't think that's ever
He's
going to
over on the
happen.
bridge.
Yeah, now he's hanging out on his bridge. It's not Robin's bridge, but
Yeah,
his bridge. No,
he's
I don't
different.
think we're ever going to see Jason's feet dipped and dangled in the Metro Court pool ever again.
I don't either.
But the fact that we did see it one time goes to show that an actor will do what they're told.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind. Hey, everybody, how's it going? It's me, Matt.
It's me, Cat.
And this is the Skinny Dip. We're here in the Metro
Skinny
Court pool. It is
dip.
time for us to deep dive into one soap opera topic. And that topic this week is not General Hospital related, no.
Nope.
But instead is the very first episode of Days of Our Lives from November 8th, 1965. You were three.
I was 3, yes.
You were three, right? Because 661?
Yeah.
62.
Yeah, I was born in 61.
Yeah. So you were 3 whole years old when we were introduced to the Horton family and the
Mm-hmm.
immediate drama therein.
Mm-hmm. By then I was already 4.
By then you were 4. Well, November 8th. So yeah, you would have been 4 by the time this debuted.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, though, what a blast from the past. All right, before we even get into characterization, plot, and all that stuff, I want to talk about what it looks like. So we watched the color version, and I'll put a
Yes.
link somewhere, probably in the description when we're done here. I'll make sure that I link it up so you guys
Mm-hmm.
know which version of the first episode we saw in case you want to visit it yourself.
Yep.
But yeah,
Watched it today.
yeah, we
It
watched it
was
today.
color. I expected it to be black and white, and it was color.
Originally it was black and white, but they
Oh,
colorized it, and so
colorized
there's
it.
color versions out there. I saw that because I was reading some of the comments on it, as
Mm-hmm.
people were feeling nostalgic and
Mm-hmm.
enjoying their blasts from the past. One
Mm-hmm.
person even included a really long timeline of Days of Our Lives events. Like
Oh,
for
wow.
example, the creator Ted Corday, I think it was Ted Corday, who
At
I
the
think
time?
is yeah, I think that's the dad of
Oh,
current Corday man.
oh,
So
okay.
he passed away in 1966. So he created the show, ran it for a year, and then died at the age of 58 from an undiagnosed cancer because I guess it was the 60s and it was harder to find.
Wow. He didn't get to see his project last very long.
No. But then his wife took over as executive producer, and she ran the show until the mid 80s until she retired and or passed away. I'm not sure which one came first.
Oh, so she did that for a long
But
time
yeah,
then.
so she did it
20
for
years.
a solid 20
Yeah.
years running the show, and then
Yeah.
I guess their son now, Ken Corday, I guess is the
Yeah.
co-executive producer or whatever, and
Hmm.
he's working alongside the current showrunner. So it's always been
Yeah.
a Corday family affair.
Kind of like the bells for YNR and Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah, very much like that. Very, very much like that. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
of the 4 soap operas that are still on today, only one of them is exclusively owned by the network, and that's General Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no deals in place. It is 100% a Disney ABC production.
Mm-hmm.
No sharing it with anyone.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Hey, we got a few people watching though. We are live here. This is not a replay. We are
It's
live
not.
from Los Angeles / Sacramento. So say hey. If you're in the chat, say hello or send us a little heart reaction or something. I'd love to see y'all here
Yep.
as we're
That'd be great.
skinny dipping in the Metro Court
Skin
pool.
and dipping
You
in the
all are
Metro
skinny
Court
dipping, not
pool.
us. Not us. We're lifeguards. Y'all are skinny dipping. Just to make that clear. Just to make it clear. All right, Ma. So November 8th, 1965.
I watched
NBC,
it.
NBC debuted a brand new soap.
Brand new.
It was along the run of, so daytime shows at the time were Jeopardy. It was on the daytime
Yes.
back then.
So I noticed at the end of the episode, they said, stay tuned for doctors.
Yes, so that was also on at the same time as The Doctors, which is another
Yeah.
soap. Another soap.
Mhm.
And I think As the World Turns was also on NBC at the time.
Oh, I'm sure it was because it stayed on for a long time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, got axed when all the soap operas one by one got axed.
Right. And I think Days of Our Lives is the baby soap, like it's the youngin'. out there. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the
Mm-hmm.
four that are lasting or that are still on are the baby soaps, the newest of the offerings. But for the exception of like Port Charles. Anyway,
Well, I tell you what, that Horton house did look familiar to what we see today.
it absolutely did.
It
So
did.
so we got to see the Horton house. This, of course, it was we fade in the very beginning of the episode though,
Mm-hmm.
not in the Horton house, not in any set that we've ever seen before.
Mm-mm.
It was Waldman's or something. It was
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, it
Sears.
was the kind of department store that you don't see anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I think Macy's still tries to capture some of that magic, but it's definitely gone. But yeah,
Yeah,
in a department store, a nice department store, going in clothes around. Julie and her two friends, I guess they're in high school,
that's what my guess would
you
be. They're in
know.
high school.
Julie and her friends, shopping, window shopping, giggling, having a great time. And Julie sneaks that fur coat right into her bag.
Or stole the stole.
The
She
stole,
stole
it
the
was
stole.
a stole,
She
excuse me, a
stole the
fur
stole.
stole or whatever it was. But she
Yes.
stole the stole. She shoved it right into her bag, right in front of that detective,
Mm-hmm.
Rafe's grandpappy, you know, Detective Hernandez.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know if it's probably not Rafe's granddad.
Probably not, but that's funny.
I have no idea. I should have did a little bit of research on the side characters because I did a little dive into the Hortons after we were done
Mm-hmm.
watching, but I didn't look into the detective or the police chief or whatever it is that we dealt
Yeah.
with in that episode to
Yeah.
see if those were continuing characters or anybody that did anything important. So if you know, leave a comment. Let us know about Detective what's his name and whoever from the precinct. They didn't even say that they're in Salem. They just kind of referred to the fact that they were in Massachusetts.
So the three girls, they get caught.
Yes.
They get
Yes.
caught and they're taken down to the station.
The precinct. Hey,
Yes.
we got a pretty girl here. You know. So
Yep.
Julie lies because she's not Julie Horton. No, no, no. She's Julie Olsen.
Yes, Julie
Tom and Alice's
Olsen.
granddaughter. But she lies. She says, "My
Yes.
name is Julie Horton." And of course, Horton family is already town celebrities.
Yes.
Everybody knows the Hortons.
Everybody knows the
I
Hortons.
would
Dr. Horton, of course.
Dr. Tom Horton. Just,
Yes.
1 year after General Hospital introduces everybody to Dr. Steve Hardy, we got Dr.
Mhm.
Tom Horton right on his
Yes.
right on,
Very
on his
parallel,
heels.
I think, actually.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I didn't get as much jokey charm from Steve Hardy as I did from
Yeah.
Tom Horton. But when it comes
Yeah.
to the Dr. Patriarch who's in charge of the family, definitely,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. And
So
Alice just does not want anybody to move out.
no, okay. So we Julie gets arrested. Da, 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 da. We what we've done is we introduced the deep dramatic plot, the what is gonna happen from here element of the story. First things first. Let's get them guessing. Then we switch over to the Horton house, which we recently, in modern days, watched burn down. And
Yeah.
now I kind of understand what an emotional gut punch that was.
Mm-hmm.
Given the length of time that this set has been apart, it's like if they burned down Bobby's
It's true.
over on General
And,
Hospital.
and I was thinking about we are led to believe just like within a couple of years of that time, the episode we watched today, that the time capsule probably was put up in the
Up
chimney.
in the chimney, yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be a wild blast from the past if there was some random scene that everybody has forgotten about of like Alice just like sticking her arm up the chimney and it's just been this 60-year unanswered question,
That'd be hilarious.
where she's just like, "Oh, what are you doing, Alice?" "Oh, nothing, Tom. Nothing. I'm just missing my kids."
Missing my kids.
So we meet Tom and Alice Horton, and boy, do they have a wonderful relationship. And
They
I'm not
do.
being
They
sarcastic.
are. They actually kind of reminded me of a sitcom couple,
Kind
like
of.
like the Cleavers or something.
Yeah, but not, back in the 50s, a total like sitcom
Yes.
50s family, exactly. Cleavers, like you were mentioning, not like the Bunkers.
No,
Not
no,
like the
50.
sitcom, yeah, not the sitcom family of today where the guy is just this
No.
loser and you can never figure out why the wife
No,
has
like
married him.
like back when the Leave It to Beaver
Hmm.
or or what was that show? Something Daddy,
My two dads.
something Daddy, or something like that. And it was, oh, I forgot the actor, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anyway,
We know the
like a
reference.
classic 50s, a couple with young kids. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
totally.
what they reminded me of.
Except the Hortons, we don't they don't have young kids. This is a very interesting introduction. So I
Mhm.
think this has to do with the fact that it's not, the first soap of all time. There's a bit of a history of what to expect from a soap opera that an audience has when it comes to expectation. And so when you're debuting a new soap, it's a little bit easier to kind of paint the walls a little bit, or foreshadow maybe some of the conflict that's coming because the audience has been trained to expect it. So we get this wonderful couple, and I think that they're solid. It doesn't seem like Tom and Alice ever split. Like they might have, but
I doubt it.
it doesn't seem in
Doubt
my
it.
brief research and the way that these characters are remembered today. It seems like they were very strong until 1994.
I tell you who they remind me of, actually, and I think about it.
Okay.
They remind me of Grandma Kate from All My Children.
Oh.
She was introduced as a matriarch from the very beginning
Uh
as
huh.
well. And so were the Hortons, it looks like.
Oh
Looks
yeah.
like they were introduced as,
The
all
family.
the trying to we never got a segment of them being like Monica and Alan.
No, 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 no.
No,
I don't
I
think they
don't think
snipped
we
and
ever saw
sniped.
that
Well, they might
probably.
have snipped and sniped, but they didn't cheat on
But
each other or try to arrange the death of the other person, or
exactly.
have I mean, their marriage probably was threatened at some point, but not in a way
I,
that
I'm
dissolved it. I mean,
Yeah, but
there
nothing
was
crazy.
30 years of content before Tom Horton, yeah, before Tom Horton passed away. McDonald Carey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived until 1994, and he actually played through through his passing.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Like so many characters, like so many legacy actors on that show have.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So many.
And on that same token, Frances Reed played Alice Horton until 2007 when she left the show or stopped filming, or I don't know
It
exactly how
must
to
have been
classify
like
it.
Anna Lee. She was on there forever.
Forever and ever and ever, and then finally Frances Reed did pass away in 2010.
Hmm.
So 3 years or so not doing the show. But Alice was constantly referred to and talked about and such while Frances Reed wasn't on the show. So Alice was still very much a part of the backdrop of Salem until Frances Reed passed away in 2010, and then they decided to let Alice go as well. So that's the quick and skinny on Tom and Alice.
Yeah.
So in my little deep dive, little not even a little deep dive, it was a pinky toe in the waters of Days of Our Lives, really.
Well, and we saw Mickey today too,
So
and that's Maggie's first husband.
yeah,
That's
so
Sarah's daddy,
I wrote that down for us to
right?
talk about later. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I
Yes.
just have this one little final little bit about Alice Horton before we can move on to the other characters that we met. Alice Horton, one of the last major storylines that she played in,
Hmm.
was something that you might be very interested in, Ma.
What's that?
A bunch of characters was killed by Marlena. I don't know if she was brainwashed or was somebody wearing a Marlena mask or what the thing was on
Of
that.
course.
But Marlena was a serial killer, okay?
Well, Marlena slapped the crap out of EJ this week.
She sure did.
She did. Anyway.
So Marlena was killing everybody, and this was
Oh
in
my
the early
gosh.
sometime 2006 2007 sometime Marlena was a serial killer killing everybody, but everybody wasn't dying. Of course, this is Days of Our Lives. They weren't actually being killed. They were being taken to an exact replica of Salem called, I wrote it down here, Melaswin. Melaswin? Melaswen. Melaswin. And so that
Eternia.
it made me think of Eternia, right? Except Eterna, whatever it was, underneath Genoa
Yes, it
City.
was underneath Lantano
Oh,
Mountain.
Lantano Mountain, excuse me. It was underneath
Yes.
Was underneath Landview. So that wasn't a replica of Landview. That was like some forgotten civilization that
Right.
Landview was built
It
on
was like
top
a
of, right?
Beneath the Planet of the Apes kind of
Right,
nonsense,
right. And this
man.
is what that's One Life to Live. But here in Days of Our Lives, there was Meliswin, which was an exact copy of Salem on some island somewhere that was operated by Andre Demira, who I guess
Whoa.
who I guess is Stefano's brother, cousin, some other Demira in the same generational line as Stefano. And Andre Demira is
That's
played
some like
by
that is some like ah crazy stuff.
so
That's
the
something like a Helena would have done.
so all of that stands out, but
It's a Cassadine stuff.
then what also stands out the most is the way that they quote unquote took Alice out. And that is this Marlena, this brainwashed or mask wearing Marlena or whoever it is, suffocates her with donuts. But she's not dead. No, she's taken to Meliswin and they resolve the problem and everybody goes back home and we're not dead after all. And
Suffocated with donuts.
Suffocated her with donuts. So I really wanted to point out, Meliswin is New Salem backwards, says Laura. Well, there we go. That's awesome. I need to find this footage.
So
I have
silly,
to.
it's
I
fun.
have to find this footage, and we have to do week after week of the Meliswin plot.
We
Anyway,
have to, Matt.
this is so dumb. Anyway, so she gets suffocated by donuts, by this Marlena character, whatever. It's just freaking wild. And so, in the timeline of events from 1965, we have what is, in my consideration, a very standard opening of a very normal soap opera. We got some
Yes.
family. We got some suggestions of some potential conflict down the line. We got two people that are very in love and definitely headed to disaster because boy, oh boy, do they love each other.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we have all of that
Yes.
set up. And then here we go, fast forward, 50 years, and Alice is being suffocated by donuts. What a life for Frances Reed.
It's like peanut butter pancakes for Dixie.
It really is. It really is. So, of course she's fine. She survived, and then she, peacefully went in her sleep or whatever, whatever it is.
Yes.
But that's the brief, dirty history of Alice Horton. I just thought it was funny that she was suffocated by donuts and taken to
It's very
New
funny.
Salem backwards.
Janelle better be really careful in sweet bits. You just never know what might happen.
Well, I mean, nowadays we get poisoned or drugged cupcakes that lead to the birth of Jude. Just goofy. So if anybody anybody in the chat right now or anybody that's watching the replay, if you can leave in the comments or tell me right now your first memory of the first wackadoodle Salem storyline that you can recall, I would love to know when to aim for on YouTube searches to see what could be considered like the first really wacky Days of Our Lives story. I would be very curious to know. I'm talking like the toxic balls from GH type of wacky. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm not Metrocord explosion. That's just good. I'm talking wacky, wacky days. I'm talking Marlena's possessed wacky.
Yes.
But I know that's not first.
Oh, that's not been first.
That was after 20 years of Rojon. So I want to know. I want to know what at least what you think in your memory was the first wacky Days of Our Lives storyline that you came across. So that was Tom and Alice. Super wonderful, super awesome. And we got a lot more Tom and we got a lot more Alice after that first conversation too. But first, we got to meet 2 out of their 5 kids.
Yeah.
So we got to see the faces of Mickey, which you mentioned is Maggie's husband, or was Maggie's husband at some point. That turned Maggie into a Horton. Now she's Maggie Horton on the show, right?
Yes.
Did she, or is she Maggie Kyriakis? It doesn't matter. But she was Maggie Horton because she's Sarah's mommy, and Sarah Horton is the Horton.
And Mickey's supposed to be her dad, right?
And Mickey's her dad, I guess.
Yeah.
So Mickey and Maggie. Maggie. So Mickey, apparently he's a player.
Yes.
Okay, he's got the lunch date and the dinner date, Dad. It's the 60s.
That's what he said.
It's the 60s, Dad. I'm playing the field.
Dinner and dessert.
Have you ever heard of free love? I got
it. Oh my gosh, yes, he's a playboy. That's what it appears to be.
Oh, yes. And I guess a lawyer, a very skilled and talented lawyer.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that'll come into
Yeah.
play a lot as time goes on. So we meet him. He comes in also with his sister, Marie, and her boyfriend, Tony.
Yes.
Our
And Marie
fiance,
and Tony
Tony.
are supposed to be having that wedding, right?
Yeah, so fiance Tony, and I guess they were
Uh-huh.
neighbors or something. Is what I saw. Is how they met. Is they just lived in the same neighborhood together and started dating as they did before social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you dated whoever you had around. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Mickey, you seem kind of hot. Let's go. Or I guess Tony,
Yep.
let's go. Let's go. So we got to meet all of them, and we get the charm, the fun. We get to really establish the lighthearted relationship that the Hortons have with each other.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed so normal to me. Some of the scenes that they had, and especially some of the lines that they shared, the little light jab here and there that they would give one another in a loving fashion. The one of them that stands out to me is when Tony, Marie, and Alice are sitting around the dining room table talking about the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
and and Tony refers to it as D-Day, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And Marie's response is basically just to kind of, hit him on the shoulder. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
like those little moments, I think, just really sell just the lighthearted love atmosphere that exists in the Horton house.
Yes.
And I love it. It's good. It was good. It was good. Maggie feeling a type of way about her kids growing up.
Mm-hmm.
With Marie getting married, I guess Marie's the youngest, I guess. But with Marie getting married, potentially, the Hortons now see that as all of their kids having grown up and left.
All the kids are grown up.
Yeah, they even already have grandkids, but Alice is
Yeah.
still feeling kind of sad about potentially not having any of her kids needing mommy in the same way anymore. Which is a real thing. It's a real thing. A little
I
touch
think
of
it's a real
a
thing.
little touch of melancholy in there on the Alice character to
Mm-hmm.
start off with. So, a little journey for her to go on, a little journey of acceptance. I also kind of like the charm, the 65 charm, the 1965 charm of what should I call you? Do I call you
Exactly.
Mrs. Horton? Do I call you mom? I already had a mom, but I didn't call her mom, so that's gonna be weird to call you mom. What did he call her? I never called my mother mother or mom or mama or mommy. Like, what did you call her, sir? Nothing?
Maybe he didn't have one.
Did you call her mama? Did you call her madre? Like, what'd you call her, Tony? I want to know. He wants he seems to be drawn to the Horton family because of the tight family that they have, and he doesn't have it.
Everybody loves the
Everybody
Hortons,
loves the
still
Hortons.
even now.
It's true. It's true. So everybody lives with Hortons. He wants to join in. I can tell you what happens to that, Ma, because of course, you can tell that these two people are not going to get married.
No.
You can tell from
There's
from
going to be trouble in
from
paradise.
from the porch scene on. You
Mm-hmm.
knew that this was not happening and so bland.
Yep.
So we fast forward to Thanksgiving, a few months
Mm-hmm.
later, I suppose. And Tony calls the wedding off day before.
Just
Everybody's
the day
hurt.
before,
Day
huh?
before. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's betrayed. Nobody knows why, and he won't say. Disappears for a little while, gets recast, comes back. Because it's 1965 and we've already established, just go with it. So after that intense true love in the afternoon that we saw on the porch,
Yes.
true love in the afternoon. This
True
isn't
love.
Alexis and Julian love. No, this is true love in
No,
the
this is
afternoon.
Horton love. Hot
Horton love.
Horton love.
The hottest we can get in 1965. Intimate conversations and a very 1965 kiss.
Yes.
Very 1965. And you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like the angles. Make sure
Just
we
a
get my
little,
forehead. And just
just a little peck.
just a little peck. Anyway, so after 11 in the afternoon, he calls off the wedding, and we find out when he comes back with a new face, a new actor, that he had a blood disease that was diagnosed, a rare
Oh,
blood disease that he had been diagnosed with. And he did not want Marie to watch him deteriorate and pass.
he was just trying to protect her
He was
heart.
trying to
And he
protect
broke it
her
at the same
heart.
time.
Exactly. So
Oh my goodness.
they reconcile. They try again. But it's just not there anymore.
The spark is not quite the
The
same.
trust has been betrayed. And not only can Marie not find that same feeling for him, the Hortons as a family also can't find that same enthusiasm that they had for the marriage of Tony and Marie as they had before. They split up again, Tony moves away, and from my understanding, we never see him again.
Well, what do you know?
So that means next year, everybody, 2025, get ready. 92-year-old Tony is back.
Yeah, Constantine's brother Tony.
You killed my brother. I spent some time in Romania, and now I am back.
So this is my question. My question about this Julie.
Yes.
Now, what like they talked about this a little bit. What is she just trying to get some attention? What was the purpose of stealing?
Right.
What's the purpose?
So based off of her royal conniption fit.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know the real definition of conniption fit. It's just something I've heard my whole life.
You know who she reminded me of with her little mouth going?
Who?
Holly.
Holly's a Horton after all. She went to town on her grandfather and uncle about, what am I, a thief? You know, a criminal, just not only, so on one hand, kind of showing a little bit of entitlement and a little bit of privilege. Clearly, clearly her parents do well because they were at some party, you know, instead of paying attention to their daughter.
Yes.
She has her fit. She admits to everything. And yeah, she's basically without saying, I just wanted you to notice me, screams, I just needed somebody to notice me. I wrote down, Julie's got issues. She needs attention.
Yep.
And I also wrote down, underlined, the hair. Oh my gosh.
She had a that girl hair, huh?
The 60s.
Marley. Yeah, Marlo Thomas, that girl.
60s swoop in full form. Now we got Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy. Tom Horton. I'm blending doctors here.
Yeah, you are.
And saying actors' names. But Tom Horton, very Buddy Holly, you know, like the big thick frames of the glasses and the black tie, you know, very 50s, right? And then Alice, also, you know, very 50s. Very much clearly had been
her updo that she goes and gets once a week.
You know, I could see them being the ages of 35 to 45 between 1950 and 1960. You know what I mean? I could just see it in those characters. And then you got Alice, or not Alice. You got Julie, the grandchild, a child of the 60s. Seeming in any way, shape, or form that makes the most sense, with the floopy hair and the headband and the thievery. And the thievery. And the need for her parents to see her. I don't know what Addie and Ben were her parents. Addie is the child of Tom and Alice, and she's married to Ben. I don't know what they do.
No, I don't either.
I don't know what they do, but they're good at it, I guess. So good at it that they don't stay home. It's something that they mentioned. You know, they're out a lot, or they're partying. Nah, surprise. You know, that sort of stuff. You know, I think Mickey was the one that was kind of saying that. Yeah.
They don't pay attention to Julie.
They don't pay attention to Julie, and so she's starting to thief around and do it in obvious ways and gets caught. And so, you know, she's acting out. Yeah, she's rebelling. And this is going to be a big problem going forward. It's the 60s, gosh darn it. You need to be a proper lady. You need to be a proper pretty lady. As Dr. Hardy would say on General Hospital.
Yes, as Dr. Hardy would say.
I thought it was funny that there's still an element of today that exists back then, just in a different phrase. And that is, they dared me. They told me to. This was just a joke. I was just fooling around. Nowadays, it's a TikTok prank.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I was pranking. It was TikTok. I'm pranking.
But, you know, Holly would throw Sophia under the bus.
And Julie threw her friends.
Doing.
Yes. Julie threw both of them friends under the bus. And they both were like, Julie.
Right.
This is the 60s. Nobody believes you. I don't know what it is in my fascination with it being 1965, but I am. Oh, by the way, in 1968, Susan Seaforth Hayes took over the role of Julie. 1968. So, a couple of years of that, Julie. I think I think Julie left a year or so or
Mhm.
something after this storyline. And then when she came back to town, it was Susan Seaforth Hayes. Maybe I'm gonna,
Still is today.
and it still is today. I'm gonna write down Susan's first episode as a note and see if maybe we can find
Oh, well, we
that.
could find it, huh?
Yeah. So let
That'd
me
be
write that down.
fun.
First episode. I think that I think Thursdays is a good day to do this kind of stuff.
It is.
You know, you
It
know,
is a good
okay,
day.
hooking all of them classic Days fans. Anyway, let's talk. I want to talk about some actual like how they put the show together stuff.
Okay.
Okay, I want to highlight some things that I thought was really good when it came to just being fun. Uh, First things first was the introduction to Mickey. Because
Mm-hmm.
beforehand, all right, because we got a big problem nowadays. We got a huge problem nowadays when it comes to familial exposition in our media shows, okay? In the
Mm-hmm.
first episode, we got, hey, cuz, why don't you come on over here, second cousin of mine? Gosh, you've been the best nephew of all time, that sort of
Mm-hmm.
stuff when it comes to like introducing who your family is. We didn't do that in such a major way on this show. No, what we did was we had Tom say, well, I just gave Mickey $10. He still needs you. And here we have Mickey coming in a scene later, and he's like, hey, Pop, about that $10.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom. I know that this is Mickey, his son.
Yeah.
And then later on, she says, I think Marie refers to her as, well, I'm your daughter, or something like that to her dad, which was a little bit more on the nose. But I liked the
Mm-hmm.
Mickey one with the $10 and all that kind of stuff because it's just a natural way. It feels like I was there, It felt like
Yeah.
they weren't telling me who these people were. I was
Yes.
learning who these people
Yeah.
were. And I like that.
Yeah.
Because then
It's
it sticks.
clever way to do a first episode and not be like just like this is,
Yeah.
you know?
Because, at certain points, it can be like a narrator being like, and this is Tom and Alice. They're the grandparents of the first character you just saw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even know that she wasn't one of their kids or how she was really connected to the family until they took the phone call. And then on top of that, too, we had Tom on the phone being like, what did my daughter, or what do you mean my daughter, Julie, is there? Like, in the way that he said daughter and informed the audience this ain't his daughter. But he
Right.
also asked it in such a way that the cop didn't really decode it. So he wasn't like giving it away or creating a bigger problem for his grandkid. It was
Mm-hmm.
it was it was smart writing. It was smart
It
writing, and I,
was.
I have to I have to really
Was.
give them credit for that. It was smarter writing than GH's first episode.
Yeah,
I
it
get I
was.
I mean I'm not even
It
we
was.
we play that
You're right.
you want to be a pretty girl thing a lot, right? But
Yeah.
beyond that, when it comes to kind of knowing who this family is, how they interact with each other, and kind of what's at stake and what's going on in their lives, Days of Our
Mm-hmm.
Lives was much clearer than General
Right.
Hospital was.
General Hospital was more just it's going to be about the hospital kind of thing,
Right,
seemed.
right. But then again, it was a drama about the hospital. They called it General
Yeah.
Hospital, not, Dr. Hardy and his family.
Not pure.
This is Days of Our Lives. And it was very clear that they were introducing us to the center family of this soap, and that's going to be the Hortons. Kind of
Yeah.
along the same lines of what they were doing on All My Children. It was
Yeah.
always very family focused, family centric.
Yep.
I can't say about, Guiding Light and As the World Turns and all those ones that are much older than the others because I've never seen an episode of any of those.
Well, like One Life to Live, it was just all about the Lords in the
Right,
beginning.
right. So, like
Nothing about just everything about the Lord.
the family focused soap seemed to be the more of the traditional format. And
Mm-hmm.
GH kind of stood outside of that. And nowadays it's not even a show about a hospital. It's just a show about what's going on in that city.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Days of Our Lives expanded, but it's still very much about the core families of Salem.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think it's still very much about the Demirs, Hortons, um, and
Yeah.
Kiriakis. I would say that those are the big three. I know that we got Rafe and Gabby or
Yep.
Hernandez's. I know that
Mhm.
we've got Jada and
Sure.
and Bobby.
Sure. Yeah.
We got the Blacks, the Brady's.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, right? If you're gonna say
Yes.
any of the
It's
three names and have somebody really know what you're talking about,
Kiriakis, Demira,
I guess,
and Horton.
I mean, I can't say that with full authority because I am not an authority on Days of Our Lives at all.
But that's what it seems
But
like,
that's
though,
what it
right?
seems like. That's what it seems like. You
It
know, I
seems
would I
like.
would say, you know, because there's no black family. I mean, there is because there's Brady and his kids and stuff. But like when it comes down to it, there's no black family because there's no like Timothy's not around
Oh,
all the time. There's John,
no,
there's
he's not.
Brady, there's Eric. I guess I don't
Mm,
know. I don't know who the Eric parents are
yeah,
anymore. I forget
they're
things.
Roman's kids
Well, there
anyway.
you go. There you go. Not even really his, and he's anyway.
He's really the twins. He's really Eric and Belle's dad.
Well, there you go. That's right.
Roman is.
I remember that now.
Yep.
But we got all that stuff in the 80s, you know, I think
Yeah.
that's when all that stuff started. So that was like when General Hospital started getting all action oriented, you know. So I
That's
guess
when they kind of steered into more adventure and
yeah.
started on the crime
Well,
stuff.
you know, I mean the extreme 80s, right? You know,
Yeah.
things were getting a little bigger, a little more a
Mhm.
little wilder, a little more colorful,
Yeah,
you
the
know.
stories got bigger along with the hair.
Right. Well, you know, the first
The 80s.
WrestleMania was in 1985, you know, and
Yep.
that's you know, one of those larger than life wild ceremonies of gigantic people in yellow underpants, right? So, you know,
Yep.
so so let's bring a little bit of that pro wrestling to our soap opera with a one-eyed man and a dude that can't remember nothing.
There you go.
I think the Hortons have another child named Dan because they mentioned Dan got married before he was shipped out. So maybe he died in Vietnam?
Maybe
Did Vietnam happen yet?
it was happening at the time.
At the time. Okay.
Hmm?
So maybe he's overseas then. Maybe he's currently out there
Like
fighting.
I think like the main part of it, like the main conflict part of it,
Mm-hmm.
like 65 to 69 kind of. I don't know. It was
Well,
over in the early 70s.
right. Well, let me look it up here. Dan Horton, Days of Our Lives, played by Cal Green. Hey, let's see. Season. Oh, Morality Bites. That's not the same show. Daniel Jonas, Days of Our Lives. No, I don't know. Dan Horton. I don't know. Maybe I didn't hear it right.
Maybe
But
not.
they seem to have another kid because they were talking about how this was going to be the first traditional wedding in the Horton family. Hooray, hooray! Everybody else went to City
Hmm?
Hall or eloped, and I'm mad. You
Yes.
know. So you know, and more reason for the wedding to be tragic. Uh, Alice is going to be so sad.
Alice is
Oh,
going to be terribly
she's going
broken,
to be
isn't she?
brokenhearted
Gonna
so
fall
much.
into Tom's arms and sob.
Oh, Tom. Alice, it's going to be all right. So yeah, Tony calls it off one day before. Oh gosh. We got to saw Dr. Tom's chair. It's
Yes,
like
we
the first thing that we saw in the Horton house was
did.
Dr. Tom's chair.
It's true.
Yeah. Mm.
It was very similar. It was.
It was, yeah. I doubt it's oh, what if it is the same chair? All they
They
gotta
have
do
to
is
at
just
least
kind of like,
recover it once. I don't
I don't
know.
know,
You
do
never
they
know.
have to reupholster it? Do they? Do they? I don't know.
No.
And if you reupholster it, is it still the same chair? Because you took all the Dr. Tom off, you know? You know? So Mickey, Addie, Bill, Marie, and Dan, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So but we only met Mickey and Addie. No,
Mm-hmm.
we only met Mickey and Marie because Addie and Ben were at a party.
And so
Dan,
Jack belongs to one of those people, I would say.
Jack. Oh yes, that's right.
Right?
We re-met Jack last week.
We did. Jack is probably the son of one of those Hortons.
Tom and Alice have
Probably.
5 children. Tommy, Addie, Mickey, Bill, and Marie, says Ice Woman 1887. Well, now, I don't know who Dan is because I remember distinctly Alice mentioning Dan getting married before being shipped out.
Mm.
So did Dan then marry? See, I don't know. Help me out with that, folks. Leave a comment.
Don't know either because we weren't watching
Tommy,
that
Addie,
then.
Mickey, Bill, and Marie. I even wrote down Nikki to start off with, by the way. So, you know, that goes to show where it is I'm coming from in this.
Yeah.
Andre Demira, busy parents. Oh, I also noticed a little stutter in Dr. Tom in the delivery of one of his lines. Which
Really?
also goes to show that way back then they probably were working at quite the pace.
Yes.
you know, because he
And you know,
goes,
back then they did some stuff live too.
yeah, it could have been a taped live thing too. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Mhm.
So he goes, you do. I mean, we're getting into the nuance of the episode here in the last 15 minutes of this podcast. He goes some. He goes some kind of serious trouble, as if he was going to say some serious trouble, but then stopped and then said some kind of serious trouble. So hey, I noticed, Dr. Tom, and you should have went and
Notice
reshot
that.
that. You should have reshot that. It actually ruined the episode. I'm kidding. Jack is a Johnson, Steve's brother, says Ice Woman
Johnson, Steve's
1887.
brother.
Thank you very much, Ice Woman 1887,
Well, then
and thank
why
you for
is he
joining
going to the
us.
Hortons' house?
Maybe he
I
can't.
don't.
Everybody loves the
Well, it's
Hortons.
okay.
We talked about it. Everybody loves the Hortons.
Yeah,
Maybe he was married to Marie. I don't know.
maybe.
I mean, I think all of these characters were a part of the show for a long time.
Well, he would be. He's Abigail's dad.
Yeah.
Abigail was a Horton, right?
I thought she was not. I thought she was an Devereaux.
I don't know. Who knows? Who
I
knows,
don't
right?
know.
Who
I
knows?
don't know. I mean,
I don't
people
know.
but us. People but us. And if this is your first time joining us here on the Days of Our Lives chat, join us on Sundays for Days for Dummies. We're the Dummies. We are the Dummies. Jack is married to Jennifer Horton, says Ice Woman 1887.
Okay, so
There you
he's not
go.
a Horton. He's married.
He's
Okay,
married to Jennifer Horton.
so
And
Jennifer.
belongs to one of these then.
Yeah, Jennifer belongs to one of those 5 kids then.
Yeah. Because
But
Julie.
probably not Mickey.
Man, Julie's grandparents, 80-year-old Julie that we see today, I don't know how old she is. Her grandparents started this show. That blows my mind, Ma.
Isn't that something?
You know, because I
Isn't that
can't,
something?
like, I'm not a soap expert. You know, I haven't seen every single one of them that's out there. I've just seen the ones that I've seen, right? But
Mhm.
the concept of being like, well, these characters already have grandkids just
So,
seems
like,
so wild to me.
So the Hortons must be like 6 generations deep. About.
So yeah, I mean, from the flashback that we saw this year, the Hortons were kind of there in the founding of Salem, you know, like from the very beginning. They bought a plot of land and he built the house by his hands and all that sort of stuff. And this was flashback actors when they were 20, not 60 or however old they
Yeah.
are in this, right?
I think he ordered that house off of Sears Roebuck. You could do that back then.
Yeah, just wall by wall, window pane by window pane.
They send you a big kit. They did. They sent you all the lumber and everything.
I mean,
Remember
man,
it?
the world has changed a lot in all these years, hasn't it?
Sears used to do
You can order
that.
your own house off of Sears. Well, that's what he did.
It's crazy.
So they built that house by hand. So we got them, and then we've got, of course, you know, their kids that we've been talking about. So that'd be the second generation. Then we got Julie, which would be the third generation. And then Julie's kids would be the
Yes.
fourth, and then Julie's kids would be the fifth. But I don't know who Julie's kids are. Not off the top of my head,
No.
you know, because
Maybe Jennifer's one of them.
because Bill had kids, right?
Yeah.
Bill Hayes. Oh gosh, we're getting to the point where we're really getting sketched out here when it comes to detail, because we don't really know what happened between 1965 and 2023,
Nope.
like at all. We have no idea kind
Not
of
at
what
all.
occurred between 1965 and 2023. So there's a good 60 years.
But we decided that we would watch the very first episode because one of our listeners and one of the people in the chat, when we were doing Days for Dummies, sent it to us, sent us the link for it.
Yeah, so we were
So that's when we decided to look at it
Mhm.
and then talk about it tonight.
Right. So we were talking on Days for Dummies. We were like, well, what did happen on the first episode? And our beloved Chatty Chat and our moderator Jeannie informed us that the first episode was about Julie shoplifting, and that blew our minds because we're still watching and enjoying Julie today, the character, and so we're like, no way.
No
Is
way.
Julie the first character we've ever seen on
She
Days?
was a troubled teen.
And she pretty much was the first character we saw. Now, technically, her friends were the first characters we saw in Days of
Yes.
Our Lives, but she was the first one with a name.
That was the first scene.
That's really cool to me.
It is.
It is that, you know, that character's I mean, I think there was a break in the late 80s where she wasn't a part of the show, but that's cool. That's really cool to me.
Yep.
Bill was Jennifer's father as well as Lucas's father. Nice woman coming in with the day's facts. And then Julie's child was David Banning, who was Eli's father. So we got some new names here. I mean, I know who Lucas is.
Mm-hmm.
So Bill was Jennifer's father as well as Lucas. So Lucas and Jennifer are brother sister, and Jennifer was married to Jack.
Uh-huh.
The
Wow.
family trees
Not Lucas,
blending.
as in Kate's kid. No.
No? What if she well, yeah, Lucas's father. What if Bill Horton is Lucas's dad?
Okay.
Bill and
Okay.
Kate,
I
because
see.
Roman's not his dad, right? And Kate is with Roman now.
Right. Yeah, I guess so, huh?
Oh gosh, and this is where Angela, Professor Angela, where are you? We need you to help us.
Where are
Jeannie,
you?
Jeannie, where are you? We need you to help us. Tom the jokester. By the way, Dr. Tom Horton the jokester. Yeah, maybe we should quit while we're ahead. You know. Well, you get one thing out of it, something you've always wanted, the closet space.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
says Ice
brother.
Woman. So yeah, so Bill, I guess Bill and Kate +8. Uh, uh, and finally, we'll be alone at last. Like, he's just trying to make Alice feel better
He's
about it.
just trying to make her feel
And then
better.
he even offered a vacation. He's like, what if we just did that crazy thing that all the young people do, where we just go? How about that, my dear? Don't you want to be a modern woman? You want to be a modern woman, don't you? Oh my gosh. Well, that was Days.
That was Days.
That was Days. That was the first episode of Days. It ends with this panic attack of Julie, practically, screaming all that kind of stuff, and then it fades out and the episode was over.
Hmm. And it
So
looks like the format back then was a 30 minutes,
yeah, yeah. So it
right?
was, it was a solid. Yeah, I think the episode that we watched was 22 minutes long with the
Yeah.
ads not in there. So I'd be curious to see maybe just one episode follow up to see where it goes from there. I might have to do a search just on my own time. But in the meantime, I want to know once again what you think is the first, or at least the first one that you can recall, the first goofy, weird Days of Our Lives story. Because this was not goofy, this was very standard, and I'm not saying it was bad. I had a good time watching it actually, but it was not Days goofy. It was not to the point where Alice was being suffocated by donuts. So leave a comment.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know, Days of Our Lives fans. And also, once again, if this is your first time being with us, you can join us live Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific time for Days for Dummies. And we got the entire library, the whole history of that show is available on YouTube through the
It
playlists
sure
on this
is.
channel. So you can click those playlists. You can go through pretty much the year Days of Our Lives podcasts that we've been going through, and you
Hmm.
can watch us continue to be dumb to this day. Angela was right. There will always be something we don't know
There'll
on Days of
always
Our
be
Lives.
something we don't know. And of course, if you stick around on our channel at 11 o'clock, you can see us on the 10th floor and talk about General
Yes.
Hospital with
Yeah.
us.
So, if you're a big soap
You do that
fan,
too.
come hang out with us on Sunday for a super soap weekend.
Yep.
It's not the soap block because other people call it that, It's the
Yeah.
soap, it's just the time to hang out with Matt and Kat, talk about soap operas. It's wordy, but it works. So let us know, because I would love to next Thursday discuss what people might consider the first goofy. Maybe there's even some options. Maybe there's some scenes that we can watch, or maybe 2 or 3 maybe episodes that we might be able to cram into our busy schedules, and just talk about some of the goofy early stuff from
That'd be
Days.
fun.
Because I want to know. I want to know. Dr. Tom like clone himself or something. I want to know. I would love to know. You know. So yeah, join.
Maybe we should watch the first time Marlena was the devil or something.
You're right. I do have access to that Days of Our Lives database of episodes. So maybe I'll have to poke around that a little bit too. But I don't want to do my own research. I want to do stuff that you guys want to watch. So let us know what you want to see
Yeah,
us talk about. That would be great. But that's it. It's not the full hour that I wanted, but we only had a half-hour show to talk about.
that's true.
Most
That's
people do
true.
this in 20 minutes. We're just wordy. We are wordy people. All right, Ma. Well, You got any final notes, any final thoughts on this first episode of Days?
I I just want to know. Yeah, I just want to know if Julie's going to be a good girl or not. I don't know.
I think she got it figured out.
I hope so.
Well, she made a couple of good choices.
You did.
She had a beautiful scene last week with the, Doug.
Yeah, she did.
So, anyway,
She
folks.
did. She did.
Folks, we got to see the whole life of Julie, practically,
Hmm.
from 15 to today. Okay, join us on Sunday. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you're watching on the replay, give us a like. If you're watching live, give us a like. If you don't subscribe, subscribe.
All that stuff helps.
Right. And of course, you can find us on all of your favorite podcasting platforms for Days of Our Lives, The Skinny Dip, General Hospital, all that sort of stuff is available on your favorite podcasting platform. If you can't find it on your favorite podcasting platform, you can reach out to me on Twitter, or Ma on Twitter too, she's there, at 10th Floor GH, 10th Floor GH, and I'll point you in the right direction, send you a link, get you set up with where we're at. Yeah, that's it. Go spend some time with your families. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll see you on Sunday for Days for Dummies
On
and 10th Floor.
Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.